slow tonight.
Oh no.
We're on.
Battling that. Bad. Hi, good evening, and welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live with myself, Paul and Jenny from Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghosts, Julia from Paranation Ghost Hunted Events, Abnormal Paranormal. The boys are back again. Luke in the bottom right-hand corner, and one of our investigators, and Paula, one of our investigators, looking very merry. Ho ho ho. So tonight we're going to talk about the team's investigation into the HMS Warrior. Unfortunately, myself and Jenny couldn't make, but the rest of the team were there. Sounds like they had an epic, great night, and some of the photos are brilliant. So if you can go on the websites, have a look. Some good, real good photos there. I'm really impressed with them. We'll try and add in a few other little bits on the way. Obviously, most of it's about the investigation on HMS Warrior and the battle they had for the weather. So it was touch and go. So they'll explain all that when they come on. And Julia will explain how touch and go it was when they're all down there, because obviously the storm hit just before their investigation started. So they done well to get on there and get started. Hi, Gemma.
Hi, Gemma.
Thank you for tuning in. Nice to have you on here. So we'll talk about HMS Warrior, and then a bit about the Colchester haunting. We've got some update on that, which is coming to the final conclusion. So hopefully we can move on from that one, leave that one behind. So we'll go over to Julia. Julia will just give you a brief rundown of the shift and all the bits on it. And then everybody, if you want to chip in with your own investigation and what you found once Julia's done her bit, then we can all have a discussion. So over to you, Julia.
Thanks, Paul. Yes, it was. We had lots of questions with regards to the weather, and it was blustery. Hi, Christine. We had it really, really blustery, and even I was doubting whether it would go ahead. I phoned the dockyard in the morning, and they said, yes, it's going to go ahead. We're open today. You know, people coming and going. Your event is going ahead. So I was like, yes, brilliant. When we went down on the motorway, the weather seemed okay, a little bit blowy in places, but it seemed okay. We had people coming down from Nottingham, and we had the Abnormal Paranormal brothers. They had quite a trek to come over to see us. So, we didn't want to double check the weather and whether it's still going ahead. We didn't want to let anybody down. And we turned up, and it was a little bit drizzly and windy and blustery. And there were some other groups there that were going for, I think they had some Christmas dinner or something, and there was a cinema show going on as well. And one of the groups got turned away, and we were just saying, we're on the Warrior. We've got 40 odd people come in 45 minutes. And they said, oh, no, we don't think it's going to go ahead because there's roof tiles coming off. And I said, well, we only need to go over there. I said, we're nowhere near these buildings. We're well away from them. And I said, I'm looking for Greg and Robin. I'm meeting them on site. And Greg and Robin turned up. And I looked at this guy, and I was like, he started talking because I was getting a little bit frustrated and anxious, and everything else rolled into one. And he started talking. I thought, I recognise that voice. I turned around and I was like, Greg, I said, I didn't put two and two together. I said, last time I saw you, I said I saw you about 16 years ago at the Explosion Museum. That was the very first event that we ever did. And I think we did sort of probably about 6 or 7 events at the Explosion Museum over the years. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, how many years has it been? And he looked on his phone. He goes, oh, hang on. Is your telephone number blah, 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 blah? And I said, yeah. He goes, I still got your number on my phone. And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, it's a small world. I said, it's so good to see you. I said, it's been ages. And he said, look, come on, put your stuff in the trolley. Let's just get you on that boat. And I think if it wasn't for him, we'd still be waiting for the MOD to come and clear us and get us on the ship. But, sometimes it's who you know, isn't it? So, yeah, if anyone can do it, Greg can. And we were on that boat, and it was blustery. The boat had a bit of a roll to it, which added to the activity. I think Paula's other half, he wasn't very good on ships, and it had a little bit of a roll to it. It was great. It had everything. It was stormy, it was rolly, it had everything you could possibly wish for a ghosty shippy ghost hunt. So it was really good. And from the outside, I don't think you realize how big it is.
No.
Andrew and myself went there in one evening in February this year, and we literally just had like one deck inside which we could go up and down, and we thought that was quite large. But we had like the deck outside, which we did venture onto. Some people sort of ventured up and down, but it was blustery, it was cold, it was really wet and windy. So it was, it was okay for a few moments to like walk up and down the deck. And then you had the deck, where we had the tea urn, and they had all like the tables and everything, and the hammocks where the sailors used to sleep. Then you had a deck below that, which had sort of like a table with eating, or was that above the deck? But I think the deck below had some like medical room and some sleeping quarters. And I think it had the kit bags, or was that the
Yeah,
deck below? Was it on that one?
yeah.
And then we had another deck below that, and then we had like the engine room right in the bow of the ship, and which was under the water. And it was just, even like the engine room, you expect it to be like a little probably 10 by 10 type room, but it was like the length of the ship. It was absolutely huge. If you just had the engine room alone, you could probably have easily run an event just in the engine room with how long it was. I don't think any of my photos really do it any justice of the sheer size of it. You can walk around the ship and not see anybody. I think there was two guys which I kept like bumping into, but apart from that, I think we were all just like going around in a big circle and following each other and not meeting up with each other. But I think one of the thing that I think Gemma got something thrown at her and it hit her teeth as she was walking along, and we were like looking around, and it seemed to be sort of maybe a little disc or something from a game. But she said, "Oh my gosh, something's just hit my teeth," and so that was quite strange. We had the light box going off in one of the like little cabin bedrooms. We had the writing planchette wrote some bits and pieces. I don't know if it wrote anything.
My initials.
Oh, that's it. Yes, it wrote Paula's initials. We were in the medical room and we were doing the board. We were doing like lots of glass moving, and then we did the board, and the board spelled out Thomas Chard, Chard, and they asked for his number, and it was 0196. That's it.
All
yes.
right. Nice.
So they went to have a look to see if they could find his like rucksack thing, and they found his bag, and they found it. They found his rucksack, and this is the wall. There was probably about 6 walls of rucksacks, wasn't there? There was hundreds and hundreds of them. And we managed to find his rucksack, 196.
Wow.
And all these rucksacks are like on the maiden voyage, all the sailors and Navy people that would have possibly been on the ship at that time on the maiden voyage. So it would have been great to go and do a second visit, but I think it is very costly to hire. So maybe in the future at some point, but yeah.
How many crew did it carry then?
Must have been hundreds.
I'm trying to think how many it was. I think somebody else talked to it was over 900, weren't they? I think I'm not 100% sure. Something like that. It was quite a lot there was on that ship.
Wouldn't the rucksacks, the amount of numbers on the rucksack, relate to how many people on the ship, or were they just their sailor numbers?
No, there were sailor numbers on there basically, but I think what it was is that there were so many around. When we was in that medical room, which I took some pictures of the medical room briefly, I don't know if you can see them. They're the beds.
Oh, right, yeah.
So you can see it properly. They're the beds. That was the chopping board. Well, they chop their arms off and legs off.
Oh, nice. Okay, you all right?
And that's where we did our Ouija board on here.
Okay,
I got a
cool.
medicine cabinet there.
You're very organised, Paula.
I know I've been organised tonight. And that is the room. It's not a very good picture though. This is the room, basically. I don't know if you can see that. I might have to come out a
Right.
bit. It's not very good actually. I think I'm trying to get there's a bed basically here. It's where
Yeah.
Julia put the box on and it started flashing lights.
Okay.
There's a desk here basically over this side and this side. And that's where
Right.
my name was written. Basically my initials, PD, which Julia's got the bit of paper. Because we was asking questions and asking what their initials were. And he wrote mine. And funny, the gentleman that was with me and his wife, they've never been on a ghost hunt before. They followed us round and we're doing different things. And he was getting really into it and everything else. And bless him, his initials was PB. He was Paula. He's Paul, and his initial, I can't think what his surname was. But I just thought, and that weird. Do you know what I mean, both of us, and we was thinking, oh, what is
Yeah.
his initials? And he did a good P, and he did a good D, basically. And I thought, oh my God, I said, he's done my initials. He said, what's your initials? I said, PD, and he went, mine's PB. I said, what's your name then? And he said, and I said, I'm Paula Davis. He went, oh my God, he was like that. Do you know what I mean? I thought, oh my, do you know what I mean? But in that
Wow.
medic room, basically, when we did the Ouija board, as Julie was saying, if else, and we asked the number, and he said 0196, and that's when Julia took the group off to find it. There were so many bags. There was loads of them cabinets with all the bags and everything else on, and there were so many. And what I think, Mark Rickett reckons there was 400 on there. Bags
Oh,
on there.
really?
Yeah, that's what he told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but he said there was 400 on there. So I only could find so many that we was looking. Me and Julia was trying to find the names and everything else, trying to find the bags and everything else, what names
Yeah.
was in.
Yeah.
And but I was trying to find a particular one, but it's weird because on the Ouija board it came up with 20. That was his age, basically. Then it came up with the 0196, and then it kept coming up with David all the time when they went off. And when they come back and told me what the name was, we asked if that was his middle name. He said yes. And then he
Wow.
said he was in the Royal Marines. He was in. So yeah, but I was quite amazed. They found the bag. They're hunting around everything. They found it. I was like, oh God, they found it. I was like, that was
It's
so
good.
chuffed.
It's
I mean,
good validation, isn't it?
yeah,
When that
it was.
happens,
Yeah.
you know, because you're not going.
Oh, yeah, Gemma, they are.
Well, Gemma's put. I was with the group and we were doing glass moving on the table. I had an EMF in the corner near the trap door. The glass was very active, going backwards and forth for 10 minutes, and the glass moved towards the trap door and the table collapsed. Glass went flying towards the trap door, and the lady near the EMF said it was going mad at the time. Later that evening, another group had pictures of something they had caught over the same trap door. The other weird thing that had never been experienced is.
Oh wow.
Come on, Gemma, don't keep us waiting.
No. It's so funny
Can't
enough,
type that fast. Hang on.
Come on, Gemma.
No, no. You know who's doing the talk, Julia, and everything else? Justin had somebody tap him on the shoulder.
Oh. We also drew a boat with the planchette, and we asked them to copy. It was just a simple, sail with the bit at the bottom, just a simple boat. And we said, "Could you draw the boat?" And they did, didn't they? They did quite a good job of drawing the boat.
Wow. Did you pick up any children there?
No.
Oh, no, I don't think we did.
I think there was actually.
Did you get some, Luke?
There's a little girl down below deck. I think there was.
Oh, we did, didn't we? Found a
Yeah,
tension,
that was-
didn't we?
That was starting in that boiler room, Luke, wasn't it? Like,
It was. I think so. Yeah.
Boiler room. Not very good picture, but boiler room.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the
because we
one.
went to the boiler room. What did you get in the boiler room then, boys?
That was the same. I think it was like a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got basically when it's
Gemma's put is when I was walking with the group, something hit me in the mouth.
Yeah.
And the tooth never experienced anything like that before. That's really interesting that they hit you in the face as well, isn't it?
Well, she was coming towards us, wasn't she, Gemma, with her little group? And next minute she went, "Oh my God, something's hit me in the mouth." I went, "Yeah." We went, "Oh yeah, all right, Gem." Do you know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
whole time. But no, but I noticed on the floor there's these little tiddlywinks. You know that you used to have play with tiddlywinks. They were on the floor, but there was steps, weren't there, going up to the main deck basically. So that was open, blowing everything out. So she got smacked in the mouth. And funny, when we was downstairs and we was talking to the sailor at the time, basically the Royal Navy man, it was funny because talking to him, and there was 24 of them in there in the room, ghosts, we found out, with us and everything else, talking to us. And then we asked the question, "Do you like Gemma?" And they went, "Yes."
You know
And
where
Gemma standing right beside her. She didn't cut the coldness and everything else.
you know
It was
where
funny.
Gemma got hit in the face. Was that where the cannons are?
No, it's further up, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was that floor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on that floor, but it's further up basically because it was a table that they'd done basically for children's toys on, didn't they? I think games. Because they said they had a lot of stuff there basically for different events. And they said try not to touch anything. And there were some games up there basically, but there was 2 on the floor.
Right.
That's why I thought, what hit her in the mouth? And then I saw
Yeah.
these little tiddlywinks on the floor. So, but she said it didn't come from that direction. It came from where the deck was. It came through.
Because a lot of times when they fired the cannons, they used to turn their faces away because of the debris of the cloth. You know, the charge unit.
Yeah.
They put the bag down there. They used to turn their faces away because it used to fire out debris and hit them in the face.
Yeah.
So when they pulled it, that's why. You know, when they pull it, they turn away, don't they? They go bang.
That's right.
That's why they turn their faces away, because of the debris of the bag.
Yeah.
So it could have been debris that hit Gemma then.
Yeah.
It could have been reenacting that type of, because I'd imagine it would have seen action at some stage of its time.
Yeah.
It tends to be heavily armed, wasn't it, really, by the look of the pictures? But in the olden days, that's what they used to do. Before they pulled the charge, you see it turn the face away and bang, and all the fabric and the debris would come out the funnel. And they would obviously fire the ball. So whether that was something Gemma felt as she walked past that area, I don't know.
That's the deck. It's very nice, the deck.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it? Lovely ship, isn't it? Good condition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Well
when
looked.
they've restored it to nearly, I think it's like nearly 90% restored now. So
Is it? Wow.
They've done an amazing job. It's just so, it's as if it was when, you know, back in like the 1860s. It's just so all, you know, detail and everything is there, and I think it's just even if we didn't get anything ghostly, it would have been a great just to go and have a look round and explore the ship.
It's a lot bigger than I thought as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I thought it wasn't that big, but it was huge. Right?
The thing is when you step on, you travel back, don't you? Because they restored it so well and such with loving care. When you step on it, you actually go back to the 1800s, don't you? Because that's how it would have been when they stepped on it. Yeah. Could have been a time slip.
The weather gave it a good feel, I think, because it was like you heard the rigging going dong, 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 dong.
Oh, okay.
The ropes were going. Paul Ben has sickness as well, so that doesn't help situations.
Oh, I
He
took
felt
tablets.
ill. And I was having
did you, Ben?
I took sickness tablets before.
Yeah.
I was ready
in
for
the
it.
med bay, in the bay, where the water is and everything else, and we had the dong dong like that. I went, oh well, we're back to set sail. I went, and he went, no, because 2 months ago it did actually set sail. It actually snapped.
Oh, okay.
Well,
and
yeah.
it went.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna go with it that day.
So we just got woken up in France.
Yeah.
So what else did you get on there?
What did you get, boys?
A lot of good EMFs, like on the stairs. REM pods went off.
Yeah.
Really well.
We got some good stuff near the end.
Any EVPs? Pick up any voices?
Yeah, on the S box in the boiler room.
Yeah, we were using the S box. Luke was down there with us. Boiler room, and it sounded like a little girl coming through on the S box. Yeah.
Did you fire off any cannons on your phone?
No.
No, I didn't know.
See whether that would have stirred the energy up. Put some loud bangs.
Neil did. I think he did some music or something on his phone. I can't. It seems so long ago now. Yeah, so he sort of like did try that. In some places, it's quite hard to get signal down there. I don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe it's the weather, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't. When you look at it from outside, it doesn't look. It looks quite big, but it's when you actually get on the ship and you see how, if you stand at like one end of the ship and you look down, how long the decks are. It's just huge. Just
It's
huge.
amazing how they build them, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I think you could easily have 60, 70 people on there, and you probably would still be able to go off and do your own thing and not interfere with anybody else's experiments.
Yeah.
Did you hear the water lapping or anything like that while you were sort of in below the decks, or sort of waves banging the sort of side of it, or?
No, it's so well built.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with it.
Yeah. You could hear the weather outside, but
You could hear the
Yeah.
wind.
Yeah.
It was so windy, but
Was it quite warm inside, or was it quite cold?
yeah, it was quite warm. Yeah, average. Yeah.
It wasn't
it's good.
freezing,
No.
Yeah.
but it wasn't toasty.
No, we had loads of layers on, didn't we? So
Yeah, I had my sweatshirt, I had a jumper underneath that, I had a t-shirt underneath that, and then I had my big sort of like long coat that's down to my sort of like shins on as well, and I think that helped. But I would definitely I definitely recommend layering up, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Jumpers,
Yeah.
under sweatshirts, that sort of thing,
Especially when you're down by the water, it's always colder there anyway, isn't it?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's always, like you say, good to layer up. So did you catch any EVPs or anything like that? Any interesting? I looked at some of the pictures online, so I recommend anybody watching tonight go on and have a look. Some real fantastic photographs of it. You do it justice in the photographs, but obviously not being there with the size of it, you don't get sort of how big the ship really is. But for the pictures are really do it justice. It's a beautiful looking ship.
yeah.
So boys, what areas did you go in then?
So we
Went in the cabin area.
we went in the cabin area where they had that big table laid out. Luke was there with us then, weren't you, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it? Yeah.
And Ben was doing some dowsing rods.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
He was getting some
Did you get good response to the dowsing rods?
Yeah, it did actually work. Yeah.
Good, that's good.
Yeah.
What did you get, Luke?
I don't know what
Did you
question but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good.
Did you do any EVPs, boys, in the rooms, or sort of?
I've got some EVPs to go through to have a
Right.
because I left some of them on for quite a duration, just
Right.
like talking and stuff. So I got to go
Sure.
through that.
So who was the little girl? Did you find out who the little girl was you had contact with?
I can't remember. Someone did say they got in contact with them before, and I can't remember the name of the girl now. But then we obviously went down that boiler room, and it come through on the S box quite a few times.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely a girl's voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why there would have been a girl on there, didn't they? I know they used to use children to carry the shots and the cannonballs up and down. When they were kids, they used a lot of young children to carry the ammunition up and down the boat, or roll it, as it would have been in them days. So you wouldn't have been able to carry the cannonballs, but roll them backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Interesting. So where did you go, Luke?
Same place as Ben and Dave, I think. The boiler room.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did you get, Luke?
What they called where the big table was and the plate was. The EMF went to red quite a lot of times.
Yeah.
Had a few names come through on my app. It's Roberts, and there's 2 men on the ship on their bags. So I went to have a look, see if they were there. So that was interesting.
And did you find the name, Roberts?
Yeah, two people
Oh, wow.
on there twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was good then. Did you? I was going to say something then. You'll have to excuse me because of this migraine. I'm a bit dopey at the moment. I forgot what I was going to say then. Dear, oh dear. Dementia rules, okay?
We had our REM pod. Dave and Ben had their REM pod. What's your other friend's name who came?
Martin.
Martin. Sorry, I really am terrible with names. I'm, once it's up there, but it takes a little while to get up there. They were in the medical room with us, and they had their like REM pods and that on the stairs and that. And I went to put my REM pod on the stair, and it just would not stop. It was just, making this high pitched beep, 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 beep. So I turned it off. And I said, it's just something wrong with it. It's not working properly today. And I went back later on in the evening, turned it on, put it on stairs, didn't do anything. It didn't beep or anything. So I don't know whether it's a little bit faulty. I don't know, or whether
we were getting a lot
It did
of stuff
feel like
on
there was
those
something
stairs.
there,
There was a
yeah.
lot of energy. There was a lot of energy near those stairs. It was really strange.
and then later on in the evening, it just, I put it in the same place, didn't go off.
Did you try any trigger objects or anything anywhere?
To be honest, it was just like one of those events where I think everybody was just so excited just to go off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
That it was just, I had all my gear and everything, and I was like trying all the bits and pieces, but I don't think you could have done. We did cat ball. We had cat balls flashing.
What stairs, boys? Gemma's asked in
In the medical room, like to the right of the table, where the table was.
Yeah, at the end.
Medical room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Medical cabinet was.
Because we were getting some really good stuff at the end, Paula, weren't we? Right at the end of the night.
We was having a joke, weren't we? Saying jokes
were,
and trying to think of songs. And I was going, row, 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 you
going
go.
off, yeah.
Thinking of themselves. We're trying to think of different things because there was somebody on the board that was saying jokes all the time because they kept on giving their initials was NZ every time. I said, "Are you having a
Yes.
joke with us?" And they went, "Yes." And I thought, here we go. And it's funny because every time whoever there was 24 in that room was leaving the board, then going past and going over to Dave and Ben up the stairs, it seemed like, wouldn't it? It was just like that's what they were doing. And coming down the stairs and then going off and then coming to us type thing. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had the laser pen, didn't we, out as well over the corner. And because we were too
Yes.
busy looking at the Ouija board, that turned off. So we didn't see it turn off. We didn't see what happened. Do you know what I mean?
so engrossed in the board.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of newbies there as well, and they was asking, weren't they?
Oh,
Because
okay.
we got carried away, see, of all the gadgets and getting them all out, and then these two people, which actually followed us all around, Paul, and
Yeah.
I don't know what his wife was called, and he was joining in with the Ouija board, and he was really getting into it, and he was asking what the
Nice.
equipment was, and we was like, oh, sorry, yeah, because we were so excited getting all the stuff out, and Dora was getting her stuff out as well, and it was like, you know what I mean?
Interesting. Did you try table tipping or anything like that when you were there, or what experiments did you try apart from obviously the REM pods and that?
Gemma tried table tipping. I think she did some table tipping with the group that she
Okay.
took off.
How
I
did you
did
get on,
some-
Gemma, if you're still there?
I think she put at the beginning, didn't she, about the table tipping over or something, and the glass going off. I think that was at
Yeah,
the
it's
beginning.
Oh,
that,
okay.
didn't she?
Yeah.
I think somebody read it out. I think somebody
Well,
read.
funny enough, yeah, because we remember that because me, Ben, and Martin were walking on the floor above them, and we heard a massive crash underneath, and we looked through the hole, and we saw Gemma down there. We were like, "You all right?"
Gemma, I tried table tipping, didn't get a
Big
lot.
go to.
But yeah, we had Martin and Gary, they were there as well.
Oh,
And
right. Yeah.
I think last time we saw them was end of June at the convent. Do you remember
Yeah.
them? They were in that room
Yeah.
doing the glass. And they were getting some really good stuff, and they're writing it all down. They had like a little pad next to them, and everything they got, they were writing it all down, very organised. And they were telling me what they got, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. But they had some really good stuff, really good conversations on the board. They're really good ghost hunters as well. So, so that was good to see them again as well.
What about Mark Ricketts? How did he get on? Did he pick up some good stuff? He's normally very good, isn't he?
We were in the room, one of the little cabins. We had the light box on the bed, and he was fixated with the light box. He loved it, and he kept on putting his hand over the top of the light box, and it kept on sort of like, flashing as you put your hand over it.
Yeah.
And when he took his hand away, it would then like one of them would flash again. And then you put your hand over it, like to set the lights off, then take your hand away, and it'll flash again. And I said, it looks like you're stroking, like someone's back, someone that's laying in there. It looks like you're stroking their back. But yeah, there was some seaman jokes,
Yeah, I
men
bet.
jokes.
Yeah.
So
was
going
gonna say.
around that night. So
I
it
can
was,
imagine. Uh,
it was very entertaining at times.
Gemma's put the table crashing was very odd, and it wasn't due to the table tipping, and the table was completely up for a while, but just collapsed.
Oh.
That's interesting, isn't it? I wonder why it just collapsed. Who's that? David 53. Hello, welcome in. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Angela, Paul, Julia, Luke, Abnormal Paranormal. Good night, Saturday. Yeah, we're just hearing about it. Obviously, unfortunately, we couldn't be there, but sounds like you had a cracking investigation. Lots going on. So the boards were quite active all night then, were they?
Well, in the baller room when the boys were in, and so Luke was with his mum and everything else. We were saying about that little girl. What it was is that there was a stowaway, basically a sailor there, basically, and there was a sailor that actually was in there called Albert, but this boy was actually a stowaway with his sister in there. That's what I found out. Basically, he was only 19. The girl, his sister, was 10. But she was, I think William got Freya or something like that. Her name was like, but it was said like a Fraser or something. But it's like a Faza or something like that. It was just spelt really weird. And it said that the voyage was going off to, Jamaica. We got off basically, which was Naya, wherever the place was. I don't know what it was. I haven't had a chance to look that up.
Yeah.
But the girl got accused in there basically of stealing coal because Dora found out basically what it was. We found out what it was. Dora was trying to question it as well, and she stole coal, and there was a sailor on there that accused her of it basically. So and his name was Albert. That's what we got for that board. So that's that child. He must have heard the girl basically because the boy basically 19 died there. And there was 91, and he got burnt basically. There was 91 of them got killed in that room. Yeah, so they got burnt in that room. So I don't know.
Would that room have been near the medical room then? Why the boys were getting so much activity on the stairs?
No, that was I think it's down further, isn't it? I think that it's further down the medical, isn't it? I think because that's on the. I'm trying to think the floor. It's down one, isn't it? Because you've got the deck. Then you got where the cannons on. Then you go down again, basically, and that was on that floor. And then you go further down, and that goes down into the medical room. That's over that side. And then you've got the like the quarters, if you get what I mean. So I think that way a bit more further over, basically. But it's where the engine is and all that lot and everything else. And they put all the coal. But I think didn't he say that they used it or something for putting oil in there or something at one point in that ship?
Yes, they said it was used as like a carrier.
Yeah.
And I think the deck used to be, they concreted it all. Was it concrete?
Yeah,
that would have been so heavy, wouldn't it, though?
Yeah.
That would have made the ship so heavy. So, yeah.
A lot, didn't
and then they restored it back to wooden deck. So, give us a smile, Luke.
You've been told, give us a smile.
Oh, you're smiling now.
Luke, you could join one of your haunted dolls. We wouldn't know, would we?
No. Did they bring it?
I can say now I've met one of his dolls.
Did they bring it?
Yeah.
All right.
In the baller room that went.
So that doll sitting between you boys, that's Luke's one, is it?
Yeah.
You sure? Look, it's right between you. No, can't see it. Luke, you're missing a doll, mate.
No.
It's sure. Creepy. Had a white dress on it did basically. It was a bit creepy.
Dear.
He built on the pipe he did basically sitting there.
Sailor,
and he was on the floor doing the Ouija board with these newbies. So me and William were sitting on the floor of the deck, and then this bloke was sitting with me as well. And his wife went, "I ain't getting involved in it." She was standing over to the side. She wouldn't even go near the Ouija board or go near nothing. She went, "No, I'm not getting part of it." She was like that. A few of them were like that. Funny newbies didn't want to get in with it. Do you mean some of them?
Yeah,
funny how
they're quite
people
happy just looking, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's funny how people interpret the board, isn't it? I think they see so many bad things about the board that they're sure they're going to come away possessed or something's going to attach. But as long as you're in control of the board, it never happened, is it?
No.
Yeah, there was one guy called Ant, and he came along, and he was like, we started off doing glass moving, and he said, board. He said, can we do the board? Can we do the board?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, hang on, just let's get some energy up, and just get some energy up, and then, and then we can move on to it. But he was just like, oh, can we do the board? Can we do the board? And I'm like,
Excited, wasn't he?
whoa, we will do it. Whoa,
Yeah, it did.
we will do it. Don't worry, we will do it. But he was straight in there, finger on that board and everything, and they're a very enthusiastic bunch, and
Nice. That's good.
hopefully we should see them again. So
One of them.
Yeah.
Of course you are, Gemma. We know you are.
Yes.
Did anybody go down the engine room? Anything in the engine room? Knocks, bangs, taps, shouts?
We did on the engine room. It was next door, wasn't it? Basically, to that bit where the kids were, basically. So it was on that bit.
But was there anything down there, noises or bangs, or was it all quiet?
There's
When
too
they
much
get the
noise
noise.
from the wind to get any
Yeah.
other. Know what other noises?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just like banging all the time from the wind.
Yeah.
they had
couldn't
these
really
like
do anything like that.
big canvas like sheet things, like not canvas but like plastic sheets, almost like a big canvas but plastic, over some of the doorways, and with the wind that was like banging against the, and then you could hear the that banging, and we did try and do some knocking and calling out, but to be fair, there was not noise from people because it was fast.
Yeah.
Static boys to the
Static
rescue.
boys to the rescue.
I tried,
So you had-
like the Frank's box and that, and I sort of recorded that, but I still need to go through some of the footage. But as with like knocking and calling out, and and hearing footsteps and that, it really was quite
Eerie.
blustery.
Yeah. To say that. So was it completely lit up? Every floor had all the lights on, or was it plunged into darkness at all, or it was
It
well
had the
lit?
lights on the sides. There was like these little like sort of like little, almost like gas lampy type things,
Okay.
sort of like down
Right.
each side. So for health and safety reasons, they couldn't
Sure.
turn those off. I think it was fine because it had like almost a cozy, eerie feel to it with all the lights on. Well, they weren't lights on, but they're like these little cabin lights,
Yeah.
which made it look a bit eerie. But I think if it was in complete darkness, it would have been pretty damn scary, I think, being on there.
Bit unsafe as well, I think.
Yeah.
But there was lots of like big metal rings in the floor where they obviously put ropes or something around them. There was a lot of trip hazards, and the stairs were literally like that, and you had to like hold on to the rope as you went down, hold on to the rope as you went up, because the stairs were really really quite steep in place. Well, they all were quite steep, weren't they? Even to get onto the ship, we had to go up like a slope, and with the wind, Greg was like had the front of the trolley, I had the back, and I was like pushing it, and he was like, the wind was like blowing it, and we managed to get the trolley on, and it was like, it was blustery, but I think it made it quite atmospheric.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, the weather and all of that just tops it off, doesn't it? You're on a gigantic ship that you've been wanting to do for who knows how long, and the weather's played a good part in making it like a horror movie, isn't it?
It was.
Every horror movie you see is a thunderstorm, there's wind, there's rain, there's lightning, and you go and get the wind and rain and the boat rocking.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you've done
also
well.
the rain adds to the activity because it builds up the energy. Rain's energy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
wind is energy, so it's I'm pleased we did it, and thank you everybody for coming down and braving the elements and everything. A big tick in our book, and I think it's great to have something like that on your portfolio, because it really is an absolute superb. It's just fast until you actually get on the ship. You don't realise, and up and down all the decks, it's just so big. I don't think we got round.
It makes you wonder how they got around the ship so quickly, doesn't it? When it was manned, if it was going into battle, like you say, if the stairs were that steep and it was a vast place to run up and down, it makes you wonder how fit them sailors were.
Oh,
But
yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
how
They must have
tall
like
was
3 or
the
4 sets at
ceiling?
a time.
They're quite
Yeah.
good
Did you-
height, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Were
he
they?
could walk around it because he was 6. What was he? 6'2", 6'3". He didn't have to bend
Yeah.
or anything, so he was all right.
So quite a big height. Because if you
Yeah.
go on a lot of the older ships, they're really quite tight, aren't they, between the decks?
Probably about
Literally.
8 to 10 feet, I reckon.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's quite
Yeah.
tall.
Yeah.
Because in them days, a lot of the people were small, weren't they? Short, because of the sailors to get between the decks, because the decks were quite low. Did we get quite a bit in the quarters? I can't remember.
Possibly.
Can you remember, boys?
In the quarters. What do you mean
Where
by
we
quarters?
were.
Is he on about the? Maybe he's on about where we were in the bedrooms. Do you know what I mean? We was in that bedroom, weren't we? And we did the PD letters, and you'd got that box going off, didn't you?
Yeah, and maybe sort of like where the big table was, where they had their dinner and
Yeah.
everything. I
So
think
would
we
that have
were
been
at
the
the table.
officers' dinner mess,
Yeah.
or where the dining
yeah.
table was?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where we did dowsing rods.
And we were
Oh,
getting
no.
a lot of like K2 action on the table as well.
Yeah,
Like Luke's was going off and mine was going off, and
yeah. Next to me.
and that's where Luke was getting a lot of stuff coming through on his phone as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Dave and stuff.
There's
And the thing
a
was,
lot of energy in that room then.
didn't the wire get pulled on the light?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the wire. Yeah, that was
I
weird.
wasn't sure if it was
Yeah.
obviously gravity, but there was a hanging light like both sides of the table, and there was a wire like next to me. I don't know if I knocked it, but the way it went, it was like someone pulled it. It didn't feel like it fell naturally. It was
Wow.
Yeah, that was
What,
weird.
what was
That
it?
was strange.
Ball cord for the light, or what was it?
just a cable. I think it was attached to a plug.
Just like a white
nearby.
cable sort of.
Extension lead
Yeah.
kind of cable.
Right. All right. Okay.
But yeah, the way it
That's
moved, it
interesting.
was like someone pulled it. Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? What else did you get in
That
that
was
room?
where that was,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
And what
literally right
questions
next
were
to
you
me.
asking with the dowsing rods then?
Just like if you're one of the people that lived here on the boat, the usual questions, like a lot of yes answers. Yeah.
There was
It's
different
good to-
like Lieutenant 1, Lieutenant 2. So we
Yeah.
were going through like
If they were allowed in that
They-
part of the
yeah.
ship as well, like
Right. Yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
if you were a plain sailor, you weren't allowed in like the officers' dining room or anything like that, were you? It was always segregated, wasn't it?
Mm.
A good way
Yeah, that
to
would've
see it is that film with Russell Crowe, something and Commander. I can't remember what it's called now. It's a film about where they go after the Spanish boat. Officer and Commander, I think. It's with Russell Crowe, and it's on a ship very similar, like a warship.
Mm.
And it shows you live how the officers, where they would have pulled a wooden board across so they could eat privately and not with the sailors, and how the sailors would have ate below and not up, and it must have been harsh conditions in the winter, mustn't it?
oh god,
Somebody's got to be above deck while the boat's moving in the winter months. So you can imagine, can't you, how
we were saying
brutally cold.
that must have been unbelievable out at sea. My
Yeah.
god.
like on the
But they
mast
wouldn't
as
have,
well.
yeah, they wouldn't have had thick jackets and anything like that, would they? Really, if you think like you're all dressed up and cozy and warm in your jackets, and like Julia said, your t-shirts and jumpers and tops, and you imagine they would have had shirts, or they wouldn't have had thermal vests and things like that, would they? Or fur-lined boots. So you can imagine how cold that must have been when you were working on that ship, when it was, like you say, when it was out of sea and it was doing patrols or whatever it was doing. You imagine how cold that was when it got to the Antarctic and up that area.
Mm.
It was
Things you
cold on
couldn't
deck.
see, though, could you? You couldn't see over the top. That's the thing about it. If they were that short, people, you
Yeah.
you had to walk along the boat, and you had to, there's little gaps here and there. That's all you could see the water if you had to go quite close.
Okay.
I mean, you can't see over the top, so literally you will be seeing where you're going. So that's the worst thing about it. You had to climb up, because I suppose you'd be in the rigs, wouldn't you? I suppose. And you'd
Up
go
on the true, yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
saying to Ben, he was talking to me and Ben and everything else, and I was saying to him, well, you think all the people be on the rigs and everything out the top there, and doing their work and everything else. And I was saying to him, I said, well, if one falls, but I said, Ben, that's it, and they die, they just chuck them overboard. The next one goes up. That's what I was saying to him.
Yeah.
What? That's how it was, wasn't it?
I'll be
Yeah.
finding someone.
Well, you used to have the press gangs, didn't they? Going and into the towns and press gang all the sailors into the boats, whether you're willing or not. A lot of them are drunk, wouldn't they? Hit them over the head and drag them on the boat. If you think nobody in their right mind would volunteer to get on one of them, would they, to go to fight in the cold? Because that is it. It's not as though you're sailing. Oh, I don't know. Julia's been on a boat, haven't you? On a, what do they call it? Cruise.
Cruise ship.
Yeah. And you think how long it took you to do your cruise, but how long it would have took them to sail across to Jamaica. Would it have been a year, 2 years, 18 months? I wonder how long it would have took them to get to that far round.
Yeah.
It might be something interesting to Google.
Yeah. Because you can imagine, obviously the sanitary conditions on there wouldn't have been that nice either, would it, really?
Unless they just chucked it all overboard. And
Yeah.
We have nice toilets there now.
What about running water? Did they have running water on there? Did anybody notice sinks and taps or?
Yeah, sinks and taps and.
Yeah.
So they may well have had hot water then. They're supposed to have run it from
as modern as it is now, but
yeah,
they might have just stored it in big vats or something, or
right. Yeah, sure. But you can imagine how brutally cold it would have been, couldn't you?
Even on deck in Portsmouth, it was your hands were just quite
really
cold, weren't they? After a little bit of walking up and down the deck, it was
really
quite dusty out there. So yeah,
I know that a lot of people had to come off the ship, and that if they wanted a cigarette or whatever, they'd come off the ship and have a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I know that Justin got off and he was looking at people and where the wind was, and he found an area to have his little vape thing he's got, basically. So he went over and he was watching the boat. And he was going backwards and forwards, and he said one time he thought it was actually going to go. And he went,
oh no!
He did. He saw it. It was literally standing there, and he said the whole thing shifted, and he saw the way you walk up, basically the ramp.
Yeah.
And he said he saw it just literally going like that, and it went so tight, it went like that, and then it come back. But he thought it was going to go at one stage. He was watching it going, guys, it's going to go in a minute. But that's what we could hear when we was in the medical room. You could hear the ropes going dong. Do you know what I mean? You could hear it.
Where it's pulling on them.
And sometimes we heard like dong 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 dong, and we thought they were like the ghosts were trying to talk to us, because like you say, you could do no knocking because it sounded like somebody was knocking. Do you know what I mean? With the pipes and everything else, it felt like it. We was down there.
Yeah, it was the ropes tightening up, I suppose, as the ship was moving.
Yeah, it was moving a lot later on, but I think it was about 12, 1, I think it was. Something like
it did
that
have a bit of a roll to it, didn't it? It's all right.
And you start rocking, you feel yourself going like this all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're
walking.
That
just weren't you, Paula, having a rock and roll time?
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose it's best not to think. It's like Justin and everything else. He was trying not to think about it because I forgot. When I booked it, I should have thought about it really, but I didn't. That is on water. And I was like, oh yeah, go on the ship, can't wait, do you mean? And then he says to me 2 days before, he goes to me, Paula, you know it's a ship. I said, yeah, what about it? I said, so when he's going, I don't do ships. We don't, I said, yeah, but you don't, it's not sailing. So we're not going to be on the water much. I mean, going off, do you mean? And then suddenly I thought, he said, but it's a dry deck, isn't it, dock? I went, no, it's on water. And he went, what? And he was asking customers that we had in if it was on, and he even looked it up on Google to see if it was. And I was like, oh, it is on water. And he went, what? I said, it is on water. He said, oh no. He said, if that starts going like this, I ain't gonna be good.
The worst day of the whole year.
Oh, I was like,
and it starts rocking and rolling.
I was like, don't worry. No, I'll go. He's going to me. Like, and I remember Julie looking at me, and I told her this, and she's going like this to me, and I was like, you don't do that. She's doing that to me, just going backwards and forwards. There's nothing there, and I thought, please no. To me, I thought he's going to be. He said
How
to me,
funny.
he did say to me, he said, look, if I disappear, you know why? He said, I'll be going home. He said, you'll be making your own way out. I went, okay, just let me know.
How funny.
He did all right,
No, he
actually.
didn't.
So,
It was
he
two,
did have
didn't
something
he?
touch him on the shoulder. He had something like 2 fingers
Oh,
touch
wow.
him. And they was in the conversation. They were having the conversation. She was saying about the ship, and what's
Yeah.
happening in the house, and then we had a safety thing.
all
Just
that
said he was leaning against the wall, basically, where there's an opening where all the guns are and everything else, and he felt something
Yeah.
poke him, like tap him type thing.
Do you know
Wow.
what? I didn't even think about people getting seasick on it. I didn't even think of that. It
didn't.
didn't even occur to me.
No, it didn't me either, and it's my husband. Do you mean that's great, isn't it?
But you wouldn't think people get seasick on a boat that doesn't move.
It was rocking.
It's just
Poor
rolling
Ben
in the water.
Poor Ben didn't feel that great either. I forgot about him, and I was going saying
Then
different
before
things
he's
to him.
dead,
It's like,
right?
oh. We didn't we down the bottom? I was going, oh well. So it might touch down. He's going, no, I don't want to go away with it for 2 weeks. I don't want to get on this.
It could have been
5
one of
weeks
them
at sea.
ghost ships sailing into the distance.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt like that actually. It's a bit eerie. It was in some points because I remember them lot was like walking down. Julie and all that lot was walking down one side, and I was walking down my own, and going do like that. And I felt presence. You know, sometimes you feel something not quite right.
Yeah.
I remember something when I was literally by the tree at one point. I thought something was there, and you get this icky feeling in your stomach. I had basically. I was feeling. I was thinking, I don't know if I like walking down this side.
It was
So
only
you
a
speeded up.
Yeah.
Right
Sorry,
then.
Julie.
I was just going to say, it's only when I walked down into the engine room, right into the bow of the ship, I thought, oh, I feel like a little bit sick down here. I don't know
Yeah,
whether
there's
it's
an
because it
eerie
was
feeling,
so.
isn't there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
When I walked around, I walked down that bit there, like you say, with the engine bit, and walked through, and I was on my own, and everything else, and with the bags on, and everything else, was because we looked at the bags originally, and everybody disappeared, and I thought, where's everybody gone? And I was looking for everybody, and I could hear people around, and I'm looking for people, and I thought, oh, I don't know if I like this presence around here. Do you know what I mean? I thought I'm on my own here, and I thought, I bet they think, great, there's a woman on board. Do you know what I mean? The sailors. Do you know what I mean? Because we did say
Especially
that.
if they've been there since the 1800s.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You could have been in real trouble there, Paula.
I know. I said, well, they like Gemma, definitely like Gemma. On the border, kids are coming out and all these blokes. I said, there's 24 in that room, the medic's room, and they all liked Gemma. And I felt a presence one by my leg. And I said, are you by me? Yes. And I was like, okay, I thought you were, because I could feel you right by my leg. So we was having a good laugh with him, a good joke on the board. It was funny
Yeah.
because it was having a little thingy. So it was quite
You
nice.
can imagine having all these women on board their ship, couldn't you?
Oh, I know.
Really?
There was also some prison cells on board as well.
Oh, okay.
But sadly, I think they were doing something in that room, so they'd sort of like taped it off. But you know, I got my phone and I sort of like leaned in and like took some photos.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
As well. It's like
So
white
does that-
doors, isn't it, with little bars, wouldn't it, on there, wouldn't they?
yeah. I think there's about six or eight of them. But yeah, for the naughty
And
people,
what were they used for? Slaves or just?
I think just I don't know.
That did come up on the board, didn't it? Not Neil was there with me basically, and was on the board, and it came up that somebody was there, confused, got done. Do you know what I mean? And but he said he wasn't a slave. We never got all the
Okay.
information out of it. It was somebody there that got accused, and he was in the jail. He was a prisoner.
Right.
But we never got all the information out of him because it's like people were coming in and out. That was a problem. We was getting one person, and next minute you think, oh, this is not the same person. Do you know what I mean? So they've
Right.
left without us knowing, and you find somebody else has jumped in the board. Do you know what I mean? You're like, I thought we talked the same person. Are you the same person? No. It went straight to no. So we had to start again. Do you know what I mean? It was like, it was in and out. Do you know what I mean? Different people. So it was getting confusing. We had some like from 1919. Then was getting some 1840. Then was getting all different dates. Do you know what I mean? Trying to work out all these different people were. It's just, it's a shame, like you say, I didn't write. Oh, you had a number come up. We've got to look up, haven't you?
Yes, I think I videoed.
Yes, you did on your phone. It was
I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but
yeah, I know it's 56 something, but I can't remember the other numbers. I know it's 56. I don't know if it's 17 or 19 something. It was quite 6 digits, wasn't it, of the officer's number? That's what it was, based in. Julie filmed it. So she's got the numbers. We have to look that up, see what it is.
Yeah, that'd be just. Do you think
Yeah.
it could be a date or time or?
Was the
I think
officer's
it was
number?
the-
Because we
yes.
asked, didn't we? We asked the
Yes.
officer if it was a number, and it gave the number on the board. And the thing is,
Oh,
one
okay.
the different board we had originally didn't have a 0, only going up to 9, and they kept on
Right.
doing the 1990. Yeah, I think it was 1990 they wanted to put on at one point, and then they wanted to put 20, but they couldn't put 20 their age because
No 0.
yeah, the
Right.
Royal Marine, he couldn't put his 20 because they want one. So we told him to use the O instead of the 0.
Oh,
So
okay,
we
yeah.
keeps on going to the O. So we made it easier so we could. It's the only way he could communicate with him otherwise. I mean, with the O's.
Did you find out an average age of the sailors on the ship? What the average age would have been?
20.
19 and 20.
Yes.
That's very young, isn't it, to be on a boat like that?
Yeah.
You know, sailing away from home for.
I think the sergeant, the one that we said about the number, I think he was 33, was he? 30 something. And then we had his number come up, basically. Yeah, we had him
Right.
come up, basically. But yeah, the 2 sailors that we had, one of them, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And there was supposed to be officers in that room with us, because it was like, say, there's 24 of them, and we asked if there was officers in there. They said yes. So there's the sailors here. They said yes. So there was a lot of like the boys knew there's a lot of activity came in that room and everything else. So it looks like they were all coming downstairs when they wanted to come down, see us, all going upstairs. You know what I mean? So you got to think they would on the go all the time, aren't they, in the ship? So they would be doing that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd be up and down the decks, wouldn't they, as they were getting the ship ready for war or getting trading or whatever it was used for during the time. You know, whether it was a trading type boat, that sort of stuff. I think that film's called Master and Commander with Russell Crowe.
Oh, okay.
Try watch it, because it's about a ship like that was used during the war, and it travels all over, and then they end up having to fight the French, and it's about the conditions inside the boat, as well as, you know, they would do operations on the boat as well, cut people's legs off because they've obviously accidents happen, cannons run them over, and, you know, awful. And they would bite down on a bit of wood. They'd have a bit of rum, bite on a bit of wood as they were cutting their legs off. It's on that film, so it might give you an insight. You might see it and say, "Oh, blimey, yeah, you know, I can go with that. I can relate to that." Yeah, it's called Master and Commander. Very good film about an old sailing ship.
No, Julia, you never got the rum from, did you? What you promised?
Oh, yeah.
No rum. What's going on there, Julia?
Gemma, we had a 17-year-old male. Yeah, what was I saying? Something about
you know, the board, weren't you? Basically, asking doing the ship, didn't you, to draw the ship? And Mark Rickett was on the same table as us. There was loads of us on this table, weren't we, by the cannons? And he was asking him to do the picture of the ship. And he went, come on, I'll get you some rum, blah, 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 blah. And she said it in the medic room as well. And I said, look, you can't keep on offering this rum to him, and you're not going to get some. And then Neil said, did he? Yeah, because Neil turned and said, you better go get some soon, because you're offering this rum and they're happy.
He'll end up with an attachment, won't he? Where's my rum?
No, it might be an idea just to get sort of like, you know, like little
little miniatures.
Yeah, but
yeah,
you know, possibly like plastic ones, and just like little miniatures of maybe old-fashioned bottles or something, and say, "Oh, look, I've got some rum," you know, that sort of thing.
Like an offering.
Yeah,
leave a gift there to him.
I've got some rum.
Some people do that on the haunted locations, don't they? They leave offerings to say thank you, cigarettes and things like that. They leave behind. You know, if they were a smoker or a drinker or whatever, people often left.
Lynn did it. She took her cigarette. She did, didn't she, your mum?
You did.
We went to Guildford that time. Do you remember that? She said that she offered one the ghost a cigarette, and then he went to have it back. And then the ghost was going, no, you can't have it back. It's going.
It was, wasn't it?
That was the gunpowder mills, wasn't it? I remember that. Left them an offering, and then she wanted to have it back.
Lynn, what are you like? You're going to get an attachment one day that's going to smoke your fags for you.
It was funny.
Interesting. She had a really good night by the sounds of it, and lots of going on. And the guests were really good. really enthusiastic and really on for it. It's a rare thing to do, isn't it? A ghost hunt on a ship that size.
I think it was nice because some of the new ones and everything else, you know, I had a few girls, we wanted to know where the toilets was, and we all went together. I didn't even know him, but it was nice. We all went together to the toilet to find where it was, and they all come
Boys, you
back with
didn't do
me.
that, did you?
No. We went
You
Waited for me. Shall I wait outside for you if you like? I said, oh, thanks. And we all went back the same way. And I thought, that's nice. Do you mean you don't need to get a woman? I still to this day don't know who she is. But whatever, she followed me back. Do you know what I mean? Everything else. We all started at the beginning again. Do you know what I mean? But it was nice, and some of them did actually. It was like about talking and everything else, and they haven't been on one before. And some have been. One woman came from Farnborough. She was telling me, and she's been to different Paranations, and been to. I don't think she's been to your ones before, but she's been to other ones before. And everything else around her area, and everything else she was telling me and all that lot. Because when we got there and everything else, a lot of people were outside, see, so they didn't know where they were going. They were waiting to go in, see. And they said it might not go ahead. So we were all waiting there and everything else. And these people started talking to me. And I thought, well, you know what I'm like, I'll start talk for England. So I was just talking to everybody going, oh, la, la, la. Do you know what I mean?
so the next step's to Queen Mary then in LA, yeah?
Oh,
That is my number
Go
one
there.
ghost hunting venue. I think even just to go on the Queen Mary, just to look round, not to ghost hunt, just to look round would be an absolute dream for me to do. I love ships anyway, so to go onto the Queen Mary that'd be a dream come true if I ever get there. Long Island.
You'll get there, I'm sure of it.
We were
That's
supposed
top of my
we
list.
were supposed to go on it in January
Yeah.
when we were in Los Angeles. Yeah,
All right.
I ended up ill, like
Oh, I
complete,
remember you saying that.
complete
Yeah.
write-off, because my granddad served on there. So
Oh, okay.
so I wanted to go on there and take some pictures and stuff to take home to him, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
I was ill. Like, and I was proper ill. Oh, it's a write-off.
Oh.
Ben, you should have just left him, mate. Get on there.
Yeah.
Go it alone. Oh, I'm glad you had a really good night and it was enjoyable, and the guests were really good. It's interesting what I've been hearing. So some good fun there, didn't you? Some good activity, really, isn't it? And like you say, the weather being how the weather was made it even more eerie. All you could have done with is a bit of a fog, then, couldn't you? Mist across the boat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would have added to it. Yeah.
I think if we went there in the summer and it was all sunny, I don't think it would give us the feel. And I think we had that storm and the wind and the banging and all that. You thought you was there at the time. Do you know what I mean? You think, yay! Do you know what I mean? So you
It's
think
always
the
good in a
action.
horror film, isn't it? That's all you get in a horror film.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you go to a haunted location, isn't it? You open the door and the first door creaks. You think, what? Why? Why does the door have to creak on a haunted location?
Yeah.
You know, you think, well, I'll open the door, and then the door creaks, and then your mind starts playing tricks in it. You think, well, why? Why would you have to creak? Why couldn't you just open like a normal door? And it's the same as a boat, isn't it? With the wind and the rain and the movement of the boat on the dock, and all adds to the eeriness and the energy, and plus being near water anyway, as well, boosts the energy anyway, doesn't it? You get some good stuff come through on that. There's another voice on there. Did you just hear that?
I thought it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again.
We did Shield Hall I think it was last November.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
it was about sort of like 1 a.m, and if you were on deck, you could see the mist rolling in across the sea. I think I've got a picture of a film of it somewhere, but that's quite eerie.
That was the woman's voice then. How weird is that?
It's always about the same time, isn't it? It's always
about the hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
How weird is that? Yeah, I bet that was a bit eerie, wasn't it, Julia, watching that mist come in over?
That was another cold one.
I remember you doing that one, yeah.
Shield
so
Hall.
Is that in the same area as the Warrior, or is that further around?
Yeah, that's Southampton, so that's a little bit further around. So, but that was
a bit further around the coast.
Yeah, we weren't allowed down into the engine room in that one. I think if we had have been, it would have given us just sort of like that extra area to explore. But it's just good just to, experience these places and to put a little tick off the list. And, I'm just so pleased that we were able to do it. It's been on our to-do list for a long time. So if anybody has any suggestions of any venues that they'd like us to try and get into, just pop them across on the
Julie's just froze.
Yeah.
Everybody gone? Where's everybody gone? Where did everyone go?
We're still here.
Did you see that?
Still here?
Yeah, you just suddenly
froze.
stopped.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you froze.
And again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How weird is that? Now you're back again.
Is everybody there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were your
See
screens?
us or not?
Did you all
You
go
are
black and spinning?
No,
No.
we were watching you.
Yeah, and you froze.
All the 6 screens went black.
Oh.
And then there was a white thing spinning. Maybe it's my connection.
But you just froze. We saw you, but you weren't talking. You just froze. We thought,
all the screens went black. All the screens
And
went
there was-
black, and I was going, oh, is everybody there? Anybody there? But all the screens went black.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was doing that before we started, and it kept saying weak connection.
Yeah, it might be the internet or the wind. Don't mention the wind.
Don't mention the wind. Last time we mentioned the wind, it was actually happening on here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm so glad that went well then, and you were allowed to get on there, because
Yes.
me and Jem were saying, the wind and the rain, and just hope they can get on the boat and, have a really good night. So I'm glad you all got on there and had a good time. It's interesting. Thank you for
very
that.
touch and go, wasn't it? Right up till literally the last minute, whether it was going to go ahead or not. I was having kittens.
Did you think if you hadn't have got in contact with your friend, maybe it wouldn't have gone ahead?
Yes, I think that if Greg hadn't been there, because the lady Robin, she was just sort of like floating about, and not in the ghostly form, but she was just like not really sort of like pushing anything forward, and but Greg just sort of took control and got us past the 2 guys on the gate and said, come on, let's just go ahead and just get you on that ship.
So they said that it was cancelled originally. Them 2 guys that was by that door, they had a nice heater by their door, mind you.
Yeah, they did.
Outside. Yeah,
I understand it in there.
Yeah. We asked me to go in because he went, oh no, I don't know, like that. And we said, it's been cold out here, we get out the wind. And we went in there and the fire was there. It was like, yay, it was on the wall. If it's outside and it was nice and cozy then, we was like, yes, we'll stand here then.
Well, someone rang me and said, oh, they've told us, it's cancelled. And and I said, it's not. Go back to the gate. It's not cancelled.
Yeah, they said it was originally, both of them said, oh no, it's not going ahead. And we was like, what? I said, what are you going on about? It's not going ahead. And we was like, no, this isn't happening. And then we said,
you were going to take over the ship, Paula, weren't you? Mutiny.
Yeah.
You could have a mutiny, wouldn't you, Paula?
I would have.
There's a mutiny in Portsmouth.
The boys and me, we would have sneaked through.
A mutiny in Portsmouth caused by Paula.
I just think that the two guys on the gate were just doing their job, and the cinema thing went ahead over in one of the boathouses. Yeah. There was looked like an office Christmas party or something where they were all dressed up. That got cancelled.
Yeah,
and I think they were just turning everybody away.
Probably just health and safety, isn't it? So nobody got injured or that type of thing.
I was looking at Spinnaker Tower, and they're having a party out on that tower.
Yeah, they were all up the top there, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I bet that was moving, wasn't it? God, can you imagine that swaying?
That's how high that is. So I thought, hang on, if that's going ahead, why can't we get on this Warrior? Hang on a minute.
Yeah, we're touching the ground here, mate. We're not up in the air.
What do you mean?
How funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a bit touch and go at one point.
So what's on your bucket list next, Julia? What's the next? Angela, what's on your bucket list? What's your next one? We're going to go around the screen.
I don't know. If I get over to America at some point, then places over there, I guess. But I don't really have a bucket list as such. I just take things as they come. If it happens, it happens. There we go.
Well, yeah. Julia, what would be on your one?
Queen Mary over at Long Beach.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Boys,
Top one.
what would it be? What would be on your bucket list for the next?
Well, we'd love to go back to the Ram Inn, but Beach at Ram Inn, but also
Waverley Abbey.
when we were on, laughing
Oh,
there.
yeah.
When we were on the board in the medical room, Angela was there, and it did come through saying we asked about where we should go, and it did spell out Waverley.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we were guessing the Waverley Abbey. It meant by that.
Yeah.
That's
So,
interesting.
You'll enjoy it there.
Yeah.
We'll have to get together. Maybe when it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
And it's and we haven't really done many of these field events this year, but maybe next year we have to get more organised and try and get more people together and go and do more, because we used to do quite a few, but I don't really know what happened this year. It's just I don't know where the year's gone, to be fair.
No, just always. Every time we went to go out, it was a storm or rain or the weather was against you, and it's not the
People
sort of
couldn't
place you want to be. Yeah, not the sort of place you want to stand in the torrential rain. There's not many places to hide, is there?
No.
You know, that's the worst thing. But on a good night, what you want is it to be slightly warm and a clear night,
Yeah.
so you can see the stars, because there's lots to see above you as well as there. So, Luke, what's on your bucket list?
Well, I don't know where one is, but I want to find like a asylum or hospital sort of place to experience that. I haven't been
The
to one
convent?
before.
The convent, that's a World War II hospital.
Yeah,
One, but like an asylum sort of place, like one of them old ones. Yeah.
the old convent we went to this year. Yeah, this year.
This year.
It was epic. What a place! What a place that was. There's
It's good,
so many people saw so many different things, didn't they? It's just unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Impressed with that one. So, an asylum or a hospital, Luke. Let's see what we can find you.
Yeah.
Would you wear a white jacket, Luke, if we took you to one?
Yeah.
Paula, what would be on your bucket list?
Well, I want to do the Warrior, so that's made me happy. So
Oh.
it's one of them I really wanted
Nice.
to do. So I'm really pleased with that.
Oh.
So you and Julia, please, that are on your bucket list, you can tick off.
Yeah, I've been buzzing for a long time now.
Oh, bless you.
I am. I was so chuffed. I'm still chuffed now. I'm still glowing about it. It's great.
That's nice when
makes-
that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes all the stress worthwhile just hearing
Yeah.
that. That's lovely. Thank you.
So
I
have you
might
had
be able-
much feedback,
be able-
Julia?
Sorry, go on.
Yes, it's all been, everybody was very excited and just said they've had a really good time, and lots of people saying how vast it was. I didn't realize it was that big. And when we got on the ship, I said to Greg, I said, oh, how much of the ship have we got? Expect them to say, oh, well, you've got this area, you've got that area. And he said, you've got the whole ship. And we're like,
Yeah.
the whole ship? He said, yeah, you got the whole ship. And we're like, oh, okay. But there's bits that it was just, even just like walking up and down and around the ship was, amazing in itself. Just having a look round. When Andrew and myself went earlier in the year, we just like had the one deck where they were doing like a stargazing thing, and we were just like walking up and down the deck, and that was just really good. Really chuffed at just doing that. But to have the whole ship where we could just, and even I think we had about 40 odd people, and
Nice.
you could walk around the ship and think, well, where is everybody? And I kept on saying to people, where is everybody? When I finally bumped into people, where is everybody? But you could easily go off on your own. And they said, I could have about 60 people, but I thought, well, you don't really want 60 people. But I think you could have got away with 60, 70 people because it was just so big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mad, isn't it? And yet it looks deceiving in the pictures, doesn't it? You don't think it looks that big. And yet it's obviously huge, isn't it?
It's like a TARDIS. As soon as you get in there, it's like, wow, it's big inside.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm.
Crazy, isn't it?
It was amazing.
Where would you
So
like to go, Paul?
me, there's a few places. Probably Waverly Hills Sanatorium in America.
Yeah.
It's on my list, my to-do list. I think my ultimate bucket place, Tower of London.
Oh, that is
Oh,
nice
yeah,
there. I've been to Tower of London. I haven't done a ghost one, but I've been to Tower of London. That's a beautiful place.
I've done a ghost walk in that Hampton Court
Yeah.
there, but I think my top of my list would be the Tower of London.
Yeah.
I did the Tower of London. I didn't do a ghost walk. This was years ago. I just went up to London and I just had a walk around the Tower of London. And we were standing there and this beefeater was sort of like chatting away. And I was just like taking photos. And I took a photo. It was going on about Lady Jane Grey. I just started taking some photos. And when I got home, in one of the windows, you can see this white face. So I Googled Lady Jane Grey and the white face could almost be her.
Wow.
I'll send you the picture. But
Yeah.
so yes, an amazing place.
Yeah, you can imagine the activity, can't you?
Oh my God.
You'd need I think you'd probably need sort of like a good few weeks there just to sort of like, yeah.
Well, you'd
Maybe
have to
we
try
could just go
the
and
crown
stay
jewels on as well, wouldn't you? You'd have to try them
Yeah.
on, make sure they fit. Got to try it on, didn't you? But that would be at the top of my list. If I could ever get to go on a ghost hunt there, that would be my top one. And then
Never say
Waverley
never.
Hill.
That's
No,
Paul's Cathedral. That'd be good.
Where?
Paul's
Sorry?
Cathedral would be very nice.
St Paul's.
Yeah. Imagine
Do you
going
know
in
it's
there.
the only building in London that was never hit by a bomb?
Yeah, that's right.
It was surrounded by centuries.
A lot of
Yeah.
people at the top used to jump off that round bit because they actually closed that in now.
Yeah.
And but when you go up all them steps, which we did not long ago, me and William went up them stairs, you don't realise how many stairs there is, right? Because they stopped the lift, didn't they? So you have to go all these stairs. I thought, oh, got to the top and everything else, but they caged it in because a lot of people used to sacrifice themselves, jump off that, and kill themselves. So there would be
That's
a lot
where
of
the
activity there.
whispering tower is, isn't it? You can whisper one side and
Yeah,
you can hear it clearly the other side.
yeah,
Was it called the Whispering Tower or
yeah.
Whispering?
Something like that, called, yeah.
Something like that. But you
Yeah.
can whisper one side and somebody can hear exactly what you said the other complete opposite side. The way it's rounded, it's acoustics. It travels. It's a bit like they reckon the Albert Hall's like that, doesn't it? The acoustics travel because it's round, where conventional stage is square, isn't it? You're square on, but when it's a round building, the sound travels around, so everybody hears the same audio all the way around the building.
You're not allowed
Hence
to take
why they're
pictures
round.
up there no more. You're not allowed to take pictures up there no more. They
Oh,
stopped
really?
it. You can't take pictures down or nothing like that. I was like, I thought this woman was standing there going, "Don't let us take them pictures." And I was like, I thought there was one in there. Do you mean? Somebody actually got a phone out basically to look at her phone. She went, "I hope you're not going to take a picture." I thought, "Gosh, she's on one, isn't she?"
Really?
Yeah, she was watching everybody like a hawk. Do you know what I mean?
What was that for? Because the buildings, the paintings are fading, or?
I don't know. I was going to ask her that. I said to William, "Wonder why is that? Is it because the paintings? Do you know what I mean, up there? Maybe the flash affects them. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange. I just put it a bit strange. I was going to ask her, and I thought, no, I better not. She might get in a high horse and go, "What's it to do with you, la la la?" And I thought, better not.
But that was the same. That was the same as Royal Holloway University. They have a room there with priceless paintings, and I mean literally priceless paintings. And that's the same. You can't take pictures in there because the flash or whatever ruins the pictures. Puts a fade on the paint.
Oh.
So that's why some places with priceless paintings, you're not allowed to take pictures. And quite the fade or whatever the flash does, it must obviously do something to it. And hence why you're not allowed to do it. Just quickly, the client we're dealing with in Colchester spoke to her neighbour that's behind her and asked if she's having any funny things going on. This lady is quite eccentric, don't talk to anybody, only talks to her because they often see her coming out the back gate. Blah 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 blah. She's had shoes put outside and shoelaces tied together.
The other
Curtains
lady.
tied together. Yeah, the neighbour.
Oh.
Curtains tied together. She's had voices, and she's even had, while she's laying in bed, someone sit on the side of the bed and actually tap her on the head,
Oh,
try and wake her up.
eerie. Mm.
So I don't know about that now.
Have you got a conclusion
Might be wrong.
yet?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
what do you think
So-
it is?
Well,
Are you
all the
allowed to say
research.
what you
Yeah, all the research I've done points to this one family, the Jeffreys. Now, the daughter goes missing, but the family stay in the asylum up until the very last moment when they all disappear. But the girl goes about 18 months before they all go. So we think now that the family are looking for the girl, but they won't move to the light without being a full family because they don't want to leave her. So the cushions being stacked up with the bits on the top, that would indicate the water tower. Where's a massive water tower with a thing on the top. So that's how the cushions are represented. The orb in the room, we saw that you kindly turn round for us. You know, you could see the face or the shape of
Child?
someone in it. Yeah, a child. You know, we think that's the boy William.
Oh.
Is it? Because there's the mum, there's George, who's the father. Marion is the mother, and then William is the child, and Hannah is the daughter that's missing.
Oh.
So
Do you think she was in the water? She was drowned in a water tower or something?
I think, because she says Ashley's in the woods. We went through the woods and looked. It's really creepy woods, but not really got any feeling for the woods. You know, when you think, oh, you know, there's something here.
Do you
But
know?
I think. Sorry, Julia, go on.
Just a quick touching on woods. My friend used to live on Virginia Waters,
Oh yeah,
and we used to go into the woods. He had a Great Dane. We used to go into the woods walking the dog at night, and he touched on this light in the woods. And he said when you get too close to it, it disappears. So
yeah,
donkeys years ago, I was researching like woods and lights in the woods and that, and apparently, you know, this might be something that, you know, maybe we could try. Maybe at some point when the weather gets a bit warmer, but go to these woods
yeah.
in the dark just to see if we can see one of these spirit lights. And
Mhm.
when the spirit light disappears, apparently you are then on the deconsecrated ground where, you know, somebody was
Okay.
apparently buried.
Yeah.
Apparently that's how it works. You walk towards the light. As soon as it goes off, that's the spot. That's where you are. But that might be something that we could possibly try.
Yeah.
And also with the dowsing rods, get the dowsing
Yeah.
rods, because, you know, ask them to lead us and guide us.
Show us where they want us to go.
I'm there, Paul. I'm there already.
Yeah, you're in there.
I'm in there.
Luke,
I'm there.
Luke would tell you it's St Anne's Hills like that, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah, it's really good there.
Yeah, because that was the site of an old nunnery there, and they used to have World War I soldiers training up there. There's a lot of history up that hill, a lot of history. Because Virginia Water backs onto it, Julia. It's right on the side of it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Because you can walk across St Anne's Hill over the top, and you're into Virginia Water where the totem pole is in the lakes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's all interconnected through, and you can walk it, literally walk across. You have to be careful. Obviously, if it gets too dark, you can get very well lost there.
But yeah, it's horrible. Horrible
It's-
feeling.
It
Yeah.
takes a sinister turn at night. I know
Oh,
that. I've
yeah.
been there with Darren once before when he went with Joe and that. And that was quiet. Did you go that time, Angela? To St
no.
Anne's Hill?
No,
No.
no, the kids were too young. Then I had to stay with them.
Right.
Is it quite a walk? Like steep walk up a hill?
It's quite. It's you park up the old. It's called the Golden Grove by the pub, and it's a really famous old pub. It's an original pub. A lot of the film stars go there because it's so off the beaten track. They can go there and have a drink and a meal without anybody noticing them. So you get a lot of film stars in there. and you come out and you go through. It's a public right away. You can walk through. There's nothing to stop you, and you go through like a metal gate, and then you start to climb the hill. It's a very gradual slope, but it goes up for quite a way, and then you reach the top, and you've got like a Luke could tell you he's been there. It's like what looks like a concrete balcony, isn't it, Luke? Right at the very top.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you look out over the St Anne's Hill, and to your left would be Virginia Water, and you can see on a clear day you can see Heathrow from up there, Heathrow Airport.
Okay.
So you're quite a climb up, and it's quite a way down, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah.
But it's quite an eerie place anyway. So that's the conclusion. We've got at Colchester, so we now know what to do. So I've now done a PowerPoint and a case file for her, which I'm about to load onto a stick tonight and get it ready. I'm just trying to work out how to add music to it, but anyway, I'll get there. Anyway, so that's it tonight. So thank you everybody for watching and joining in. Emma, where did that come from? Gemma, thank you so much. You must be very important with all those letters after your name, Paul. What? Well, yeah. Oh yeah, it's probably caught on the keyboard. It's only HFG. Oh, whatever. I'll shorten it next week. Put knob or something. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight and all your comments. Gemma is what I was meant to say, not Emma. I don't know where Emma come from, but Gemma, thank you for joining. I don't know where that name come from. I don't know. It's been really interesting and well done, everybody, for your great investigation Saturday. So it sounds like you had a great time and you had really, really enjoyed it. I think Luke's even got a smile, so he might have enjoyed it. So I'm not quite sure whether Luke enjoyed it, but it seems everybody else did. So it only remains for me to say thank you for tuning in tonight and have a very, very safe week from all of us on here. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.